Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to Computational Physics class. This video is a part of lecture series on programming in C++. In this video, we will see different loops or the repetition control structures. There are three types. Basically, there are three kinds of loops or repetition control structure. What is repetition control structure? A statement or a set of statements that is executed repeatedly is called a loop, and the statements in a loop are executed for a specific number of time, and this specific number of time is decided on the condition which is applied. Until the condition becomes false, the loop or the execution of the statement continues. So the condition inside the control structure decides the number of times the set of statement or the statement present inside the loop will be executed. There are three kinds of loops: the while loop, the do while loop, and the for loop. First of all, the while loop. It is a conditional loop statement, and it is used to execute statement or a number or a set of statements, and as uh, as the given condition inside the while loop remains true. When the condition is true, these statement or set of statements are executed repeatedly, and once the condition becomes false, the control is transferred to the exit. Here is the syntax of the while loop. We write while, and in the round bracket a condition is applied, and this condition is a combination of variable and logical operators. It is similar to the condition expression we use in if statements and if else statements. It could be similar to that. And here it is written a statement. If this condition is true, then this statement will execute. Here we have mentioned a single statement. If we want to execute number of statements, then within the curly brackets these number of statements are written, and when the condition is true, as long as the condition is true, all the statements written within the curly braces will be executed, and once the condition becomes false, that the control is transferred outside of the loop. Here the condition, it is any relational expression, and the statement anything which we want to execute repeatedly forms the body of the loop, and at the end of this body of the loop, inside the body of the loop, there is a statement which is of increment or decrement of the variable. Increment or decrement of the variable is used to control the number of iteration of the loop. If we don't use that, the loop will become infinite. So in order to make the condition false at certain repetition of the loop, then this increment or decrement statement is used. Now here comes the flow chart of while loop. Here you can see start of the program, declaration and initialization of the variables. It could be the variables that are being used in the relational expression, and this is the condition which is based on a relation expression. If this condition is true, then the body of the loop, it can consist of one statement or a number of statements. Number of statements along with the increment and the decrement of the variable which is being involved in the relational expression. So it is executed, and the transfer is again transferred to the condition in order to check the condition again. If the condition is still true, again the control will be transferred to the body of the loop. All the statements will be executed, and after execution of the statement, it will again check the condition. It will again and again check the condition, and this loop will goes on and on executing the statements when the condition is true. If the condition after 5 times executing the loop, or even if you consider 10 times executing the loop, is the condition becomes false, then when the condition becomes false, then the control is immediately transferred outside of the loop. It exists from the loop, and if there is any statement after the loop, or if there is nothing, then the program will comes to an end. So this was the flow chart of while loop. Now let's consider an example program. Here we have considered a program to calculate the sum of first 10 odd numbers and also to print the odd numbers. First 10 odd number. If you count the odd numbers, first 10, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, 17, 19. So 1 to 19, these are all odd numbers, and they are first 10 odd numbers. First, look at the algorithm of the program. After starting declaration and initialization, this variable will be used for the 10 odd numbers, and in order to calculate the sum, we have introduced a variable sum, which is initialized by 0. Whenever you want to have a product, it is initialized by 1, and whenever you have to have a sum or an addition, then sum is always initialized by 0. Condition will be checked. If condition is true, then it will calculate the sum and print the value of a. As the program has also mentioned, to calculate sum and also to print the odd numbers. So the 10 odd numbers should be printed. Next is the increment. As 1 and 3, the two consecutive odd numbers, there is a difference, or you can say a step size of 2. So increment of 2 in a value is being used. Next, again the condition will be checked. If it is true, then this loop will again continue, but when it becomes false, it will print the sum and the program will stop. Here is the flow chart of the program. Initialization of the variable a and the sum variable. This condition, when a is less than equal to 19, the condition will remain true. So for a equal to 1, when initially a is equal to 1, this condition is true, it will calculate the sum, and sum value will be 0 plus 1. Now after the execution of this statement, sum will have a value of 1. So in the next statement, value of a will be printed. Value of a is equal to 1. It will be printed on the screen. After that, an increment of 2. Now the value of a has been changed to 1 plus 2 equal to 3. Now 3 less than equal to 19, the condition is still true. The whole loop will again execute until when the value reaches, when the value becomes 21. At the value of 21, when a is equal to 21, this condition will become false, and the control will be transferred to this statement, which is to print the sum. So the value of the sum will be printed and the program will exit. So this was a program related to while loop. Now the next loop is the do while loop. It is also a conditional loop. It is like a while loop, but in this loop, the condition is tested after executing the statements of the loop. In the while loop, you have seen that first the condition was tested. If it is true, then the body of the loop containing all the statements were executed. But in the do while loop, first the body of the loop, the set of statements inside the body of the loop is executed. After that, the condition is checked. If the condition is true, then the body of the loop or the statements inside the loop are executed again. But if the condition is false, then the control is transferred outside of the loop. So there is the syntax. Do, this is the body of the loop. You can see, there is a one statement, but there can be number of statements. And outside the body of the loop, we have tested a while condition. Here there is a difference between another difference that is visible over here, that when you write a while with a condition, this statement, it is written with a it is ended with semicolon. While if you look behind this while condition, then the condition, after the condition with the round bracket, there is no semicolon. So there is a difference in the syntax also. So it should be kept in mind. So if the do over here is a keyword in C++, it indicates that it is the starting of the do while loop, and the statement, it belongs to the body of the loop. And while the condition is the same, the relational expression on which the execution or the number of execution of the body of the loop depends. If the condition is tested repeatedly, as long as the test condition remains true, the body of the loop is executed, and the loop terminates when the condition becomes false and the control shifts to the statements that comes immediately after the loop, or if there is nothing after the loop, the program will end. Here is a difference between the while and the do while loop. In do while loop, the body of the loop comes before the test condition, the body of the loop is executed, and then the condition is tested. And for the while loop, test condition comes before the body of the loop. First the condition is tested, and then the body of the loop is executed. So this is the main difference between while and the do while loop. Here is the flow chart of the do while loop. Again, starting with the start and declaration and initialization of the variable which you required in the program, they are all declared over here. Here we write do, and the do transfers the control to the body of the loop. All the statements are executed. After that, the condition is checked. If the condition is false, again this body of the loop, the statement inside the body of the loop will be executed. But if this condition becomes false, then the control is transferred to the statement which is written immediately after the while loop, and after executing that statement, program comes to an end. So this is the flow chart of the do while loop. Here is an example program of the do while loop. In this program, we have to print first 10 natural numbers using do while loop. First, look at the algorithm which will start the program, declare or initialize a variable, print the value of the variable a, increment of 1, because the natural numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the step size between the two consecutive values is 1, so the increment of 1 will be used. Next, the condition will be checked. After checking the condition, if the condition is true, the control will be transferred inside the body of the loop to execute the statement. But if the condition becomes false, then the program will comes to an end. Here is the flow chart. You can see a variable over here prints a value of a, then increment in the value of a, then the condition is checked. After condition is checked, if it is true, this body of the loop is executed again, and if it is false, then program comes to an end. Now the for loop, it is also a conditional loop, and it is also called as a counter loop. It is used to execute a statement or a set of statements repeatedly for a fixed number of time. The for loop, it comprises of following parts: initialization, and sometimes declaration and initialization both are done inside the for loop. Second is the condition, third is the increment and the decrement, and fourth is the body of the loop. Now let's see the syntax. Here is the syntax. Here in initialization, we can initialize more than one variables in a single loop if it is required, and it can be declared as well with the initialization. Then with the semicolon, it is separated by a semicolon, comes the condition. Again, it's a relational expression. After that, with the semicolon comes the increment of the decrement, and there is no semicolon after the for loop statement. And here comes the body of the loop. It could have, if it has number of statement, it is written within the curly brackets. So here comes the example. If you see this example, the first part is the initialization. Here declaration and the initialization of the two variables are done simultaneously in a single loop. Two variables are having a data type integer int, and the initial value 6 and 10 for the variable a and b are being used. This one is the condition which is being applied on the variable a. So the loop will execute statement, or it will execute the number of statements present in the body of the loop as long as this condition remains true. And the third part is the increment or the decrement. Here we have used the increment part. So it first, this part will be executed of the for loop. After that, this condition will be checked. After checking the condition, the statements inside the body of the loop will be executed. After execution of the statement inside the body of the loop, the control will be transferred towards here. It will increment the variable a. So initialization, then the condition, after that the body of the loop, and lastly the increment and decrement part will be used. And this is not necessary to use each time this increment or decrement in the for loop. You can use that increment or decrement inside the body of the loop because it is executed at the last. So this was the syntax of for loop. Next, a program in order to print first 10 natural numbers using for loop. Here we start the program, declare the and initialize the variable. Condition is checked. If the condition is true, then it will print a value of a, which is required in the program to print a value of the a on the screen. And then the increment in the variable, again the condition is checked. If the condition is false, then the control is transferred outside of the loop and the program will end. So this was a sample program illustrated by the algorithm and flowchart for the for loop. Now let's program these in our C++. First of all, I have included the header files which is necessary. Program to print first 10 natural numbers. First of all, I am using the value int a equal to 1, while a is less than equal to 19, and its body here cout value of a. I want to print value of a, and I want to print them each value on new line. So I am using end else statement. After that, increment on return 0. First of all, we will compile that program. Successfully compiled. Now I am going to run that program. So after running that program, let's see the output. Here is the output of all. So I have printed as we have the condition used. Okay, the condition should be I want 10 numbers, so it should be like this. Okay. So there was a minor mistake. Now it is. So you can see 10 natural numbers, first 10 natural numbers are being printed on the screen by using the while statement. Now let's modify this program by using do while loop. For the do while loop, do cout this is the body of the loop. We delete that. So a variable a again taken, initialized by 1. Do, it's the body of the loop which comprise of errors. Oh, the statement. This is what's missing. Okay, you can see that this is the body of the loop in which it will print a, then it will do an increment. After that, a condition will be checked. After that condition will be checked, now we will execute that program. Now let's see the output. So the same first 10 numbers have been printed, with a difference that the body of the loop was executed first and then the condition was checked afterwards. If the condition was true, again the body of the loop statement was executed. So the same program I made by using the do while. Now let's see how can we make this same program by using the for loop. As in the for loop, we have an advantage. We don't need to initialize the variable and declare the variable before we can initialize and declare the variable inside the loop by a single statement. Less than equal to 10, and we can say that a, sorry, this is case sensitive language, 1 separated by semicolons, and inside the loop what we want to print the value of 8. So let's see successfully. Now we will see the output. Here is the output. Now you can see that by using the for loop, the programming becomes much easier. How? That in a for loop, everything, the in declaration, initialization, and the condition and the increment or decrement of the statement, all it is written in a single statement. So the length of the program has been reduced a lot. So this was all about various different loops that are present, and by considering these all loops, we can make our program, we can execute the statements for a number of times, as many times we want. It all depends on the condition. So the condition decides on the number of times we will be executing those statements. Thank you.